Everyone throws around the term mindset, but I personally had to travel far and wide to actually learn strategic, practical steps to improve my mindset and actually see myself as a brand new person. I finally found the foundation of how to actually build a powerful, strong, healthy mindset in the literature of what's known as the laws of achievement and the science of success. So today we're kicking it old school again with the chalkboard. We're gonna dive back into the stick figure illustration by Dr. Thurman Fleet and discuss your 6 higher faculties that allow you to think different in order to drink different or never again. What is up, my free and powerful friend? I'm Magnify Maggie. I'm the creator of the Magnify Method. Please, please, please subscribe because we are uploading 2 videos per week to help you think different in order to drink different or never again. As humans, we are programmed to interpret and communicate with our outer world through our 5 physical senses. Philosophy and science show us, however, that in order to change any part of our world, we actually have to start with our inner world, way more than our outer world. We're gonna look at the stick figure illustration, which literally illustrates how the mind works, and we're gonna talk about what might be going on for you right now if you feel stuck with your drinking and how to shift your identity and actually become aware of your superpowers right up here. So if you recall, that stick figure diagram is super simple. It's just one large circle, which represents our mind. One vertical line connecting us to our body, that smaller circle. Now I'm gonna put an M here and a B here just to remember what those stand for. As I mentioned, we are all programmed to interpret the world through our 5 senses. What we see and what we hear is mostly what we take as truth. So in this diagram, you'll see these 5 little antennae. That represents what we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch, and what we hear. So we're going to be always taking these things in with our physical senses, but it doesn't end there. Unfortunately, though, that's what school taught us. What school didn't teach us was that we have superpowers locked up right between our temples, and that what we take in with our 5 physical senses literally needs to be channeled and needs to be formed into what we desire. The truth is that you have these 6 higher faculties, whether or not you're using them all the time, but if you're not consciously reining them in and shifting and channeling that energy for good, then my bet is that you're allowing that energy to be channeled in a negative way. But that's okay, because that just means that you're unaware of how to change it. But starting with this lesson right now, your life can completely transform for the better. Our first of our 6 higher faculties is reason. I'm just gonna draw a little R here to remember. I hope you have your notebook and you are taking some awesome notes. Reason is this gift that literally makes us human. If you think about an animal, another creature on our earth, they don't necessarily have this ability to choose whether a thought is going to serve them or not. And that's what reason does for us. Our reasoning faculty allows us to accept or reject an idea that we heard, or maybe that we saw, or maybe that we heard about through somebody else, or we feel like we should do this thing. Our reasoning faculty allows us to take a step back, especially in really heightened emotional states, to say, how can I respond intelligently and maturely to get the outcome I desire? The other end of the spectrum with your reasoning faculty, if you're not using it appropriately and consciously, you are likely reacting. Think about a baby. The way that a baby reacts if it needs something, it's going to cry. It's going to throw a tantrum. It's going to be angry. It's going to scream. It's going to be very upset. That is it, reacting versus taking a moment to respond intelligently. Babies don't have that reasoning faculty built in yet, so they just react. Well, you're an adult and you can take a moment, you can avoid catastrophizing and reason with yourself and say, what way can I go to come out the other end with my desired outcome? Next up, this one is memory. Memory makes us really awesome human beings because we have this Rolodex basically in our mind of experiences to call back on. Unfortunately and admittedly, most people struggling with addictive behavior are haunted by their memories. But there are specific ways to move past troublesome memories so that they're no longer affecting the way you feel, which is one of your physical senses. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. And when we are always dwelling on shameful, troublesome, painful past memories, we are going to allow our mind to put our body in a negative frequency. Negative thought, negative memory, negative mindset or frequency. They are directly correlated. So we have the personal responsibility of choosing the memories to recall upon that are going to serve us. If I need to get excited about a presentation, it is not going to benefit me to think about a presentation where I fumbled in the past, but rather a time that I succeeded. So always think, am I recalling on something that's propelling me forward and giving me enthusiasm? Or am I dwelling on something that makes me want to stay stuck? This is where you can realize that you have the power and control to change your daily behavior. The third faculty that we're going to discuss is probably my favorite, but it also builds on another that we're going to talk about in a second. This one is imagination. So remember, the first I in our column is the imagination. Napoleon Hill called this the workshop of your mind. Every single thing that you see in our physical world, this is mind-blowing, every single thing that you see in our physical world was at once just an imagined image in somebody's mind. This blanket, this chalk paint on my wall, the computer that you're watching this from, or the cell phone. Wow, what an imagined thing that somebody just created and invented. They thought about a computer in your pocket. And guess what? People in the beginning were like, that's crazy, that's stupid. Who would want to be on the internet? But now, that is the absolute logic of our society. That all stems from imagination. So your imagination is where you literally create your reality. You might even say to yourself, I'm not creative, I'm not artsy, but you are the highest form of creation in this universe because you create ideas that you can and will bring into physical existence. That is wild, right? So anything that you imagine can and will be achieved if you hold on to that image long enough. This is another idea we covered in the natural laws video, where if you hold on to an image in your imagination long enough, it's going to be deposited from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind to your entire body so that you actually feel motivated to go attain your dreams, go accomplish your goals. So if you're searching and struggling with motivation, we gotta tap into imagination. Even if a teacher or an authority figure told you a long time ago, get your head out of the clouds, stop imagining, live in the real world. That's a bunch of BS. We actually gotta get you back into the imagination so that you can start seeing your dream life. Again, a lot of people struggle because they're not using their imagination consciously. They're not saying what can happen that's good. They are always imagining what could go wrong. I want you to think about that for a moment. Any ideas that you paint in your mind, are you setting yourself up for that loss, for that pain, for that failure? If so, all you got to do is change the direction that you're imagining in. I mentioned that imagination paired really well with another faculty, and that is the will. Not to be confused with willpower. Willpower is synonymous with struggle and strife and really putting in this external exhausting work to force something. Whereas free will, the faculty of free will, actually should make you feel magnetized towards your goal. So the faculty of will is what allows you to stay focused on the image you create through your imagination. So think about them holding hands, and will is like the bouncer of the faculties. He's making sure that there ain't no negative, contradicting ideas coming into your mind. He's making sure that anybody that's negative, that's coming up to you and saying, why are you doing what you're doing? He's making sure that you're not paying attention to that. It almost feels like when I've accomplished harnessing my free will, it feels like I've got blinders on and nobody can stop me from reaching that goal that I'm now magnetized towards. So if you're feeling like every goal you set, you're having to exhaust yourself and white knuckle, that's likely because natural narrative in society is to use willpower. Whereas learning about free will actually makes it feel easy, effortless, and even fun. So there's specific ways to actually challenge the willpower and start to use free will. Next up, we have another I. Remember that this I is for intuition. So good old Bobby Proctor says that praying is when you sit down and talk to God. Intuition is when God sits down and talks to you. God, higher power, whatever you want to believe in. Your intuition is that gut feeling, that hunch from your stomach or from your soul. Maybe even you might feel like it's from your chest, your solar plex. It's that feeling that you have to do something or not to do something. A lot of times it's your intuition that's piping up when you get those aha moments. Intuition is your connection to universal intelligence or higher power, God, whatever you believe in. Each and every human being is connected through intuition. Intuition allows you to pick up on frequencies of others. So this is super well known. You've probably felt this yourself when you come into a room and somebody's feeling really sad or angry. You pick up on that energy. That's your intuition, almost like this satellite within you that picks up on the energy of other people and allows you to feel them out and see kind of how you should mirror their energy or how you can cheer them up. Or maybe they're really positive and you pick up on that, and your intuition actually allows you to connect with them so that they are pulling you out of your negativity. So it can be magical. It can also be kind of painful if you're a very intuitive person. It's a lot of energy you're picking up on throughout the day. I also really look towards intuition for obviously like future goals. If you have a hunch about something that you think is going to work and everybody around you is saying, don't do that, that's silly, that's illogical. If you feel it in your gut and in your soul, follow it, because that could be also from a lot of other mindfulness aspects. That could be your higher self talking to you through frequencies. This is a really magical area of human existence, and the more you study it, the more magic you're going to find. All right, we're closing it out with one of the most practical higher faculties and easiest ones that I feel to tap into, which is perception. So that P at the bottom of this column is perception. Wayne Dyer said, change the way you look at something, and what you look at changes. Perception is our faculty that allows us to hook right up to our source of gratitude. Because if there is a way that we can change the way we perceive our circumstances, or maybe another human being, or even ourselves, then we can change our feelings towards them. We can change our strategies to overcome them, or our strategies to overcome any hurdles, say in that relationship or that job, whatever that might be. Wherever you're having issues, wherever you're getting negative results, I challenge you to say, what is my perception of that thing? If you are getting negative results, you have a negative perception. Shift your perception, shift your perspective of it, and you can get positive results. For example, if I have a negative perception of myself, I am not going to be getting great results. I need to shift my perspective of myself or my perception of myself. There's a lot of work to do there. Thought audits, you can do journaling, mindfulness awareness. There's so many principles locked up in the Magnify method that help you shift your perception that I have confidence that anybody just going in within week 1 will start feeling amazing differences. You'll feel this in your body because you're no longer perceiving things to be so negative all the time. That wraps it up today for our 6 higher faculties. Again, I really am just skimming the surface here. So drop a comment if you have any questions. Also, leave your comment of which one of these seems like the most obvious to start working on and honing in on to get better results. I want to hear from you guys, and I love to see those comments below. And until next time, make sure you subscribe. We're dropping 2 educational videos every week so that you are truly thinking different in order to drink different, or never again.